My Hero Academia, the final season, had just finished its run a few days ago. Deku and all of Class 1A and every other available hero are doing whatever they can to stop Shigaraki and All for One. There's probably going to be some spoilers in this review. I'm going to try and keep things as spoiler free as possible, but be warned, I might go into spoiler territory if I have to. So if you haven't finished this season, don't watch this video yet. Finish the final season. Trust me, it's completely worth it. Go back to this review and just check out my thoughts then. I gotta say, after watching the entire show, the 4 movies, the OVAs, all in 1 year last year, in preparation for this final season, I thought it was all worth it. I absolutely love the final season of My Hero Academia, and I truly think this was a beautiful end to the entire story of Deku and how he became the world's greatest hero. Because what all this season had to do was just close off all the character arcs and plot lines that were built from the first season and close them off here, give us a fantastic epilogue, excellent action sequences, but it goes even further beyond that. It gave us some of the most beautifully animated action sequences I have seen in an anime in a long time, and probably the best action sequences in the entire series, because not only does all the action feel fluid, but it all tells a story when it comes to the first few episodes of the season, with All for One going up against All Might. I thought that entire segment of the battle was really engaging to watch, especially watching All Might use whatever weaponry he can, trying to do his best to keep a smile, to still be the hero everyone needs. Even though he doesn't have a quirk anymore, he is still going up against All for One and doing whatever he can to slow him down and to be able to reach his goal. But when all that goes wrong and he knows he's not enough, when Bakugo was able to come back into the fight, show that he's alright to Deku, and just straight up go to All for One, not only distracting him, but causing so much damage to where All for One gets so mad that he cannot focus on anything but Bakugo, and that leads him to slowly degrade into a baby. But before that, you see the backstory as to how he became who he is, especially showcasing the separation between him and his brother and how he killed him. Again, this is amazing character progression because we see the rise of All for One. But this is during his entire fall to a kid that he kidnapped, tried to turn into a villain, and now that kid has come back for revenge and defeats him as a literal infant. What a pathetic way to go out, and I cannot imagine anything more fitting for All for One. And it is a great redemption for Bakugo, who is trying to showcase to everyone that despite his tough nature, he wants to be a genuine hero. And just by defeating All for One and doing whatever he can to save his friends and Deku and saving All Might, what a fantastic character arc for Bakugo that I absolutely loved. And then we get to Deku, who's doing whatever he can to save Shigaraki. But it is tough. This battle is hard fought. And all the previous holders of One for All are doing whatever they can to help in whatever way, shape, or form. But Shigaraki is able to find ways to dispose of those previous holders. That is until they decide to do whatever they can, even if it means sacrificing themselves to help Deku to get into the mind of Shigaraki to possibly save the child that's still inside him, to be able to help him be good, to help him see his good nature once again. That is until we see the truth of why Shigaraki became the way he is, because All For One manipulated his father and the family to lead to everything that made Shigaraki be who he is. For manipulating his father to be more abusive and hard on his kids, separating his grandmother from Shigaraki, and to see the world in a much darker light. It is absolutely gut-wrenching to see all this, but even afterwards, we still know that there could have been a chance if the world could possibly have helped this child. But by choice, when it came to an older lady just not being there for him when clearly there's a child in need, just walking off away, tipped him off. And now we are here in this final battle. Heroes are dying left and right. And despite Class 1A coming to help save Deku and help him whatever they can to defeat All For One, who has now taken over Shigaraki's body, as he was able to find a way to escape death from Bakugo. Now it all rests in one last blow that Deku must push against All For One. And once you hear Yusei Run play in the background, building everyone up, including Deku himself, to start running and not stop until All For One is defeated, it is so exciting. And when we get a glimpse of Shigaraki as well going for the blow at the same time as Deku, it was so satisfying to see that. And we get that last interaction with Shigaraki and Deku acknowledging each other, and Shigaraki acknowledging that Deku has been right, but it has been too late, and to tell his last member of the League of Villains that he had done everything he wanted to the bitter end. And then we get that fantastic image of Deku in the sky, raising his fist in victory. Just absolutely peak artwork, peak direction, peak animation. This was a beautiful end to this final battle. I can't imagine ending in any other way that would lead to such a satisfying feeling of bliss. And then we get the final epilogue episodes where we see Todoroki finally make amends with his family, and his family making amends with their son, who has now just days possibly to live, possibly hours to live. So he's going to be gone. And Deku and his classmates finishing all of school and graduating. And then we get that final episode to where we see all of our heroes now grown up. Time has passed by. We're at a time skip now. And we see that all of our characters are now doing what they want in life. They become better people. And honestly, I thought it was beautiful. There's even a little segment to where we could have gotten another Shigaraki because a kid was abandoned. But that same old lady who did not help Shigaraki, watching what is happening on TV in the past with the final battle, realizing that this could have been prevented if she just helped this kid, now in the same situation, decided to take the opposite approach and help this kid in need. And now she literally saved the entire world just because she made the decision to help a child in need and lead him in the right direction. Honestly, This ending was beautiful. All Might coming in to give Deku a nice suit to go and do hero work with his friends. Just all around, I love this ending. Everything about this I thought was great. If I were to have any nitpicks, I would say that the reveal of All Might being behind Shigaraki's turn from the very beginning was a little bit of a, I would not say slap in the face, but I would have preferred if it was just an unfortunate series of circumstances that led to Shigaraki instead of just all for one being in control of everything. Like, it did not ruin the show at all for me, but I would have just preferred if it was just like a series of unfortunate circumstances instead of someone just pulling the strings from behind. But it did lead to a fantastic ending, so I'm able to live with it. But if I were to have any nitpicks, it would have been that. But all in all, this final season was excellent. The writing was great, the action and animation was absolutely beautiful, the ending epilogue episodes were an absolute bliss to watch. Just, I'm going to miss this series, honestly. I never thought I would say that because I only recently started this show last year, for real. I remember being introduced to this by my best friend back when we were in high school. I was in the gym and he invited me to watch My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, but I didn't really start the show until earlier last year. So, Jackson, if you're watching this, thank you for introducing me to this show, this new anime that I love. It was fantastic the way it ended. I thought it was great. Overall, Season 8 of My Hero Academia gets an A+, and I'm going to give the entire series of My Hero Academia an A. I'm not giving an A+ because I did think the 5th season was a bit of a downgrade in compared to all the other seasons. I think I loved every other season apart from Season 5, which I thought was just fine. But still, My Hero Academia, I can confidently say it's a great anime, and I highly recommend anyone who's a fan of shonen anime to go watch this show. It is absolutely fantastic, especially the way it ended, and all in all, I had a fantastic time with this entire series. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.